Greetings, villains, vigilantes, heroes, and heroines. You're tuned in to Project SuperVillain. I'm your host, Arc Drifter, and today I come at you with a couple last-minute shopping list additions, either for yourself, maybe, or for your friends, family, whoever it may suit. We've got six new games to check out for this month of December. That's right, it's the holiday month, and we got some pretty good ones in the selection this time. So let's take a peek.
Number 5, Need for Speed Unbound. Cruising into our number 5 spot, we've got Need for Speed Unbound coming out December 2nd for the PC, the PS5, Xbox Series S and X. Say goodbye to last gen. This game's focusing on the now and just making sure they can get out a good quality game. So if you have PS4 and Xbox One, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to hold up and wait till you get the new consoles before you can try the new Need for Speed game. Of course, we are looking at an action racing game. This one focuses on both the single player and the multiplayer with separate campaigns. So yeah, separate unique campaigns for each mode. That's pretty cool. You grind to the top and become the best racer seemingly in both of those modes in a different way, obviously. And notably, Criterion went for like this sort of anime over-the-top animation here. It looks pretty cool, actually. Probably the change that Need for Speed needed to differentiate itself from the other racing games. But yeah, it's pretty much got the standard Need for Speed look, but on top of that, it's got all sorts of animations. Just everything's blasting with color. There's not a wasted pixel, it seems, and it's very pleasing to the eye. Even just looking at the UI, that'll flare up and stuff with collisions and boosts and give the whole screen essentially some small animation flare-ups. It's not too distracting as much as it is pleasing to look at, and it adds a nice level of flair to the game, honestly. Two different types of NOS to play around with. I think there's like a boost mode and like a tap feature. So definitely more fun for zooming around. They want this game to be fast, obviously. It's Need for Speed. It's about the speed. And the need for it, of course. So then we've also got notable artists behind the soundtrack. That includes A$AP Rocky. You can unlock new cars and upgrade and customize your current cars to your heart's content. That includes visual effects as well, so you can play around with all the fancy effects that blasts off when you take a boost and when you turn corners and when you ram into cars and stuff. That's really, really cool to me. I'm always a big fan of aesthetics. It's got a fully customizable character creation suite as well, so you can change up the way your character outside of the car looks like, because there's all sorts of stuff you can do outside of the car too. And it does feature crossplay multiplayer as well. You don't have to worry about whether or not it's Xbox, PlayStation, or PC. You can just play, and that's always nice. I hope that every game from now on focuses on crossplay. On top of this, there's going to be free post-launch updates, so you can look forward to new stuff being added to the game later on and being able to enjoy it just for having the game, which I'm always a big fan of. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. Number 4, Samurai Maiden. Slashing into our number 4 slot, it's Samurai Maiden, coming out December 8th for the PC, PS4, the PS5, and the Nintendo Switch. It's a third-person hack-and-slash JRPG where you play as a young woman that's essentially a schoolgirl, it looks like, transported to feudal Japan. And somehow you become a samurai. I'm not sure what leads to this, but there's not a whole lot of information out on it. It's also hard to find out because a lot of the game's in Japanese too, so even the trailers, a lot of them are in Japanese, so it made it difficult to find research on this game. But that being said, it's a game where you come across a team of hot ninja girls and you set out on an adventure. I can't really downplay that. This game looks awesome. It looks fun with fast, flashy looking combos. I don't know how in depth they go, but it does seem to be fun at the very least. A couple hours of fun at the very least. You can command teammates individually with 3 different allies at any given time. I'm not sure if there are more characters in the game to unlock, or if you just get 3 allies throughout the entire game that you can swap between. But one of the allies is with you on the battlefield, and the other 2 are like just helping from the side kind of thing, so they'll throw in abilities here and there if you command them to. But yeah, so that's an interesting way to go about it. I feel like they should have gone with all 4 of them on the field, but hey, that's just my opinion. Yeah, so the other 2 help from the side, and check it out if you're interested. It's an interesting looking game. I don't know if it's going to be too pricey considering what you're looking at here, but keep an eye on it, and if you're interested, go check it out. That being said, let's move on to our next one. Number 3, Marvel's Midnight Suns. And swinging into our number 3 slot on December 2nd, we've got for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and the Nintendo Switch. Marvel's Midnight Suns is coming out. It's actually developed by Fire Access Games, published by 2K. It's a tactical RPG strategy game, kind of a card-based strategy game as well. It's set on the darker side of the Marvel Universe, and it looks like you have your own customizable original hero as well. Both the outfits and looks are customizable, and essentially Lilith, the mother of demons, revived by Hydra, is set to bring back Chthon and fulfill a dark prophecy, and you're set to stop her. Essentially, you're apparently a killer of Lilith in a past life, and you're being revived by the Avengers in this game to take her on again. So you're some like legendary hero of past, essentially. I don't know why they're just like, reviving you for this moment. Why leave you dead all this time? That's so mean. Anyway, it does feature unlockable costumes, upgradable skills. You control a squad of 3 at any given time, and you get different abilities for each member of the squad, obviously. You get the ability used through randomly picked cards in a deck. You'll unlock different cards with every hero, and yeah, so you can just base your attacks and strategy on which party you go with. It's also got third-person exploration in between missions, so you can go around and speak with the heroes, developing relationships. It's got a lot more to it on the other side of things than just the combat and stuff. There's also a lot of the storytelling in this game. So if you're really into the Marvel universe, you actually might really like this game. The strategy looks a little bit interesting. I'm not too sure about it myself, but obviously you can see it's a bit of a grid-based thing, mixing card-based strategies with it as well. So that's an interesting take on a strategy game. If you're interested in Marvel, if you like strategy games, this might be one for you. Check it out on December 2nd. Number 2, High on Life. Alright, squanching into our number 2 slot, we've got High on Life coming out December 13th for the PC, Xbox One, Series S, and X. This one's obviously developed and published by Squanch Games, if I didn't make it obvious by my intro there. The guys that made Trover, the creators behind Rick and Morty, come on, you might have heard of them before. They're creating a new game, and it's first-person shooter, action-adventure, comedy game, where every single gun you pick up has a personality and a mouth. It's hilarious. This whole universe seems really, really zany and fun. If you're into this kind of stuff, make sure you check this out. If you like Justin Roiland's humor, then you're going to be interested in this game for sure. So essentially the plot is humanity is being harvested like cattle, and they use our life essence to get high using these things called hyperbongs. It's just really cool. Like essentially they stick us in this like uncircumcised penis thing that usually are their arms, and then they just get high off us, and then they even like make these machines called hyperbongs for casual people that don't have these orifices, and so everybody can just get high off of humanity. That's why it's called High on Life. It's such an interesting take on things. The guns you pick up are aliens that talk to you, and they have like tons of dialogue. You can unlock the guns in any particular order that you want. The game kind of plays like a Mega Man style, where you can just go to different planets based on its boss. And depending on which one you go to, you unlock a new gun, and that new gun is what you have for the next mission. So yeah, you can go through this game multiple different ways and get all sorts of different dialogue. There's tons of little bits of dialogue in this game. They did not skimp on that, so there's tons of replayability. You play as a gamer that's turned into like an unlikely hero, essentially, so you're just like some random dude. You're going after cartel members, and essentially the cartel are like harvesting humans. Like essentially like humans are cocaine, so you're like cocaine that's fighting back, essentially. I don't know how else to describe this thing to you guys. It's hilarious though. Tons of original TV content and media. This is like a really fun little fact of the game, but there's like over 7 hours of total unique content on the TV in this game. Like if you're like looking and watching a TV, there's apparently about 7 hours of just unique TV content, original content. Like now I'm not talking about like a show that exists in real life. I'm talking about stuff that exists in this game. It's just so cool. Like they put a lot of effort into little things like that. So hopefully the rest of the game and the main of the game holds up and true. But it's not exactly an open world. It's just got multiple different alien planets to explore with like some open worldness to it. It's not true open world though. Honorable mention: Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. Rolling into our honorable mention slot, we've got Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. That's coming out December 13th, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series S and X, and the Nintendo Switch. Tosei is helping out with the development of this game. Obviously, Square Enix is both publishing and developing it. And it's described as an HD remaster of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII from the PSP, which is actually a prequel to Final Fantasy VII. It seems to me like it's more like a remake, but I'm not super familiar with the original, but it might just be like A lot of the things are changed, but most of the game holds true to the original. So I'm not too sure if maybe like the cutscenes aren't totally remastered and stuff like that. But essentially, you play as Zack Flair, the previous owner of the famed Buster Sword, and you're kind of just finding out the story of him and Cloud and Sephiroth before the events of Final Fantasy VII, obviously. And the gameplay, the combat, and the visuals have been overhauled in this. It plays different from the original Crisis Core. It's got like a more modernized hack and slash Final Fantasy combat style, and it's not quite the same length of a standard Final Fantasy title, but that's also indicative in the price. It's got this weird damage counter thing in the corner, I've noticed, that almost works like a slot machine, I think. I'm not even going to try to explain that. I'll probably sound too stupid. So, yeah, you know, I'll just deal with just being regular stupid at this point, and let's just move on. But that's it for this one. Check it out on December 13th. Whoa, jumping in for a second, just to remind you guys, we have a special show coming out in February. Pushed it back a little bit, but it's the Gaming and Music Awards show. It's the show where we take all the best games of the year and all the best electronic music that we can find, and we make an award show out of it. Don't miss out. We even do like the orchestral 7 best games. We take the theme songs and we make this like big remix out of it. Only instead of orchestra, it's electronic music. Kill Boss is an amazing artist. So, anyways, back to the show, but just wanted to let you guys know that's coming out later in February. Stay tuned for that. Let's get back to our number 1. Number 1, the Callisto Protocol. Creeping into our number 1 slot, coming out December 2nd, just in a few days, and for the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Series S and X. We've got Callisto Protocol coming out. This game looks amazing. It's actually developed by Striking Distance Studios and published by Krafton. This is the Dead Space spiritual successor. These guys worked on the Dead Space titles before Dead Space essentially, you know, stopped being a thing. So we're looking at a game that's going to be truly scary. I've always quoted Dead Space as one of the scariest games of all time. With atmosphere, the creatures on it, it's just, oh, what a great horror experience. And modernized, it's going to be great when the new Dead Space comes out. This is essentially what Dead Space is now, but not Dead Space. You know what I mean? So we're set on a dead moon orbiting Jupiter called Callisto. A lot of it taking place in, it looks like a prison. You're playing as a character known as Jacob Lee. This is a third-person survival horror shooter. It's single player, and the weapons in the game feature melee and ranged. So it's not only just shooting and stuff. It's mostly shooting, but there are going to be some melee weapons as well you'll get to make use of. There's light stealth elements in the game as well, so you can creep around and try to get the edge on some of the enemies that way, but it's not going to be like super in-depth, so don't think you can rely on it too much. It seems there's going to be upgrade trees for every single weapon in the game as well, so depending on what you find, you can basically max that out if you want to, and you can play the game how you want in that way. There's also going to be a skill tree that'll allow you to customize your character even further, and you won't be able to max it out in the first playthrough, so it'll take more than one playthrough to actually get the full experience from the skill tree and try out all the different stuff that they offer in the game. That's really interesting to me. I like that they offer replayability right off the bat just with that. There's alternative routes and paths in the missions that you may miss on your first playthrough as well, so that adds to that replayability factor right there. There's going to be more you can do. You're going to obviously miss something at some point. Essentially, yeah, you're going back a second time, you're not going to have a bad time. Enemies are hard to kill, and ammunition is limited as per expected. This is a true survival horror experience. You're not going to be able to just run and gun your way through this game. It's going to be tough, and I hope it is. That's the kind of that's what instills dread in most games nowadays, because at the end of the day, even like when you're gaming on PC, you can snap to an enemy's head in seconds. It makes you feel really powerful when you have just even a mediocre amount of ammo. So making it a limited thing and enemies hard to kill is always a good thing when it comes to making a good survival horror game, if you ask me. But that being said, sometimes you have to get creative to kill things, and you're gonna have to find like random things on the ground to use as melee weapons, I guess. It does seem like it's pretty well rounded, so I almost expect there to be some level of trap mechanic in this. And there's going to be some pretty impactful horror segments. The developers are boasting that they've worked really hard on making sure that people are scared in this game. So there's going to be times where, you know, they're going to build up tension and just not even take it, not even do a jump scare and just like leave you hanging. There's going to be other times where they just jump scare. And there's going to be other times where they just build tension, and then boom, hit you with the fat jump scare. They're really boasting that they're doing a good job of that. So I'll hold them to it. I'm excited to see how they do. There's also going to be DLC for the game. They've already announced story DLC, new game modes, and a brutal deaths options pack. Not sure how I feel about the fact that they're kind of separating all that stuff from the game. It does seem like they have it all like in the plan, and it just, I don't know. It seems like they could include more with the base game, if you ask me. But hopefully, the main game is amazing, and I have high hopes for the Callisto Protocol coming out on December 2nd. So don't miss that one. Alright, that concludes this top 5. I gotta rush this one out. I gotta get this edited as quickly as possible. I'm literally recording this. It's like the 30th right now. And yeah, some of these games come out in like 2 days. So I gotta get this out ASAP. If you enjoyed this, make sure you check out our streams. We do streams pretty well every Friday and Saturday. It's one of the two. You can check us out at twitch.tv/Project SuperVillain. We're always going to be doing a different game or event every weekend, so you can always rely on something different going on. We have an upcoming stream really soon called the Thankmas stream, so make sure you check that out. It's going to feature myself, Killboss, Play with Ash, and Marzipan. We're just going to be doing some Christmas stuff, and every donation that we get is going to be for charity, so make sure you check that out if you want more information about that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.com/PSV_official_. And yeah, we're going to be making announcements about that really soon. I'm going to try and do like a little hype video or something like that. But yeah, that Thankmas stream is going to be on December 10th, so make sure you check that out. It's going to be a good time, and we look forward to seeing all you guys come by for some good holiday fun. We're going to have some fun events planned for it. It's going to be a good time. But that being said, I'm going to take off. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. We appreciate all the support. It lets us know that you like the videos and it's informative to you. We do one of these every month after all, and if you missed them, go check out the playlist down below. And yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. So thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Project Dismissed. Peach out.